Some secrets go to the grave. Some continue to speak even from the grave. It was an ordinary Saturday in Niterói, just across from Rio de Janeiro. 18-year-old Jorge da Costa Alves was searching for his lost kite in the thick bushes. But what he found was not a child's toy, but the greatest nightmare in Brazilian criminal history. Two men were lying in the bushes. The heavy stench of decay permeated the air. But it wasn't the condition of the bodies that horrified the police. Over their eyes, they wore handmade, crudely cut lead masks. It was as if they wanted to look at an unseen light, or seek protection from the unseen. Who were these men? Manuel Pereira da Cruz and Miguel José Viana. Two electronics technicians from the city of Campos. Married, with children, respectable and successful people. Well, they were taken 200 kilometers from their homes, to this deserted hill. What was the force that brought the suits and bullet masks? The list of people found near the bodies looked more like a strange picnic than a murder scene. An empty water bottle. 2 towels. And waterproof raincoats worn even though the weather was sunny. It was as if they knew a storm, or rain, was coming. But this was not water rain. Let's wind the clock back to the morning of August 17, 1966. The two told their families, "We are going to buy materials for work." They had enough cash with them to buy a car with the money of that time. About 3 million cruzeiros. It was around 14:30 when the bus arrived in Niterói. But strangely enough, they did not visit any electronics stores. Do you know what their first job was? Buying a waterproof raincoat. The weather was clear. There was not a single cloud in the sky. Miguel looked extremely nervous when he was getting water at a bar, according to the waiter's statement. He kept looking at his watch. It was as if he was afraid of being late for an appointment. They took that water and kept the receipt. That bottle would later be found next to their bodies. They were last seen around 4 p.m. They were walking towards Vintém Hill. From that moment on, Manuel and Miguel stepped out of the world of the living and into the world of legends. The small notebook found at the scene. This is where the heart of this case beats. The writings were not a simple suicide note. It was a list of instructions. Listen carefully. 1. 4:30 p.m. Be at the designated location. 2. 6:30 p.m. Swallow the capsules. 3. Protect metals after the effect begins. 4. Wait for the mask signal. Swallow the capsules. Which capsules? Forensic medicine was unable to perform a toxicology test because the organs had decomposed. But theories were floating around. Were these capsules meant to kill them? Or is it to open their minds and enable them to see beings in other dimensions? And masks. Lead is used to block radiation. It is used by those who work in nuclear reactors. So what kind of radiation were these two men expecting at the top of the hill? What were they trying to protect their eyes from? A bright light coming down from the sky. They weren't crazy. They were scientific spiritualists. According to their beliefs, technology and the spirit world could merge. In fact, months before this incident, they had conducted a strange experiment that caused a huge explosion on Atafona Beach. The local people thought there was an earthquake that day. On the night of the incident, the daughter of a wealthy family in the area and the night watchman was standing on Vintém Hill, wearing orange, bright. They reported seeing an oval object. This object was moving up and down the hill. The sentence, "Wait for mask signal," in the notebook. Was this the signal? But let's keep our feet on the ground. There were 3 million cruceros involved. And that money was missing. Suspect, Elcio Gomez, was questioned repeatedly. Their statements were contradictory. I wonder if someone used the faith of these two men and lured him there, saying, "You will meet with aliens." Did he make her drink the poisoned capsules and run away with the money? A perfect murder. Today Vintém Hill is quiet. More than half a century has passed since the incident. The file was closed, opened, and closed again. Organs were lost, evidence was corrupted. All that remained were the empty eye sockets of those lead masks. When the famous researcher Jacques Vallée examined this case, he said, "This incident. It is proof that the UFO phenomenon is not just about metallic ships, but an illusion that plays with human consciousness. What did Manuel and Miguel see when they put on those masks? God, aliens, or just darkness? We will never know." This is Onyx Abel. See you in the next dark file. Leave the lights on.